Hello and welcome. My name is Ash, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Ash Knows Travel, where I cover everything travel from travel booking, making sure you book with the best, aka me, to travel advisor trainings, to even how to become a travel advisor. So, today, right now, and this evening, I'm going to be talking live about how I built a business with my phone and free apps. Now, I've been in with my current company that I'm with working for 3 years now, and in those 3 years, I have learned so much about business. And I think one of the biggest things that I realize is that I tend to overcomplicate it, and there's so many easier ways to do things. So, whether you are an aspiring entrepreneur, whether you are maybe interested in becoming a travel advisor and you have stumbled upon this video, or maybe you are already a travel advisor, I do want to thank you so much for watching this. Make sure you like and subscribe because I produce content up to 3 times a day. I like to go live, and you can feel free to hop on and get any kind of tips and tricks and ask questions. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, who am I? Okay. I'm telling you, I started a business on my phone with my phone, and I run it with a certain amount of apps. So who am I to tell you that, right? So coming from me, I am a mom of 6. I started working with the company 3 years ago so I could spend more time with my family. I had no envisions of actually planning travel other than my own. It didn't start that way, but something that was a simple yes, let's try it, has turned into a 3-year successful business that I am able to balance with my family life. I took that passion that I actually just used for myself when I came to booking travel for my family and turned it into a profitable career. With that, being 3 years in the business, I now take time out of my day to make sure that I help others able to do the same thing, right? Help others create their dream careers. So, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is maybe something that you could be interested in, and you don't even know that at the time you're already doing things that I do every day, right? And that's kind of what we're going to go over today. I am going to share some great business apps, but I also want to talk about what I do in my day as a travel advisor so that you can get a rough idea of how these apps are going to play a part, right? So, a morning routine typically for me is going to be check my client messages because a lot of my clients like to send me messages past my cutoff time. As a travel advisor, I have to have a cutoff time or I'll be working 24/7, right? I also like to confirm my bookings. If I have the inquiries come in, I like to talk to the people before I start looking up their information to make sure that it's a legit inquiry. So I tend to do that, and I confirm any of the bookings that I can see that are happening. So let's just say somebody's traveling today, or their payments due today. I have systems in place. I do use the Excel app on my phone for that. I actually have all of my clients listed in the Excel app, and I have all of the itineraries and the quote processes all listed in there. So I highly recommend that one just to start off right at the day. And then I like to track my back office from my phone, which I do from Safari. And in there, I like to review any supplier updates. So first of all, Facebook is a great one for us because Evolution, who we are partnered through Evolution Archer Travel, they post live updates straight from Facebook, so I can check there. I have YouTube. They also post on their YouTube channel. I have the back office, which leads to Travel Cafe. I can check there. So I like to run through that because sometimes, guys, they have flash deals. Sometimes they have pop-up trainings. Sometimes they have a new policy or maybe a new update or a new vendor. So I always start off there in the morning before I plan out the rest of the day. Now, midday tasks between being a mom, right? That takes up a lot of the day, especially during the summer. I also like to create quick graphics, schedule my posts. I do a lot of scheduling. I like to be prepared. I don't like to not plan for my business. If you are trying to run a business and you have no planning involved and you're just waking up every day trying to figure out what to do, you will waste more than half your day trying to figure out what to do before you get anything done. So you have to plan in advance. I follow up with leads. When I get my inquiries through Jotform, I start following up with them. I send out quotes a lot. Most of the time, though, in the evening, I finalize my quotes. If I start working on them roughly in the beginning of the day or midday, I kind of go around and pick it up as I go, because a quote can be something as simple as a couple of cruises to something more in depth like a Europe tour, right? So it can't always be done in one sitting, and that's okay for me. So I normally just kind of wrap everything up in the evening. I finalize my quotes, I respond to DMs. If I have to meet with any of my agents, I meet with them. And then, of course, I catch up on any training videos that I might have missed through the day because most of our trainings are recorded. So one thing that I love about this is that it might seem like I'm working throughout the day, but there are several breaks in between, several phone calls in between, several life events in between, and food. Can't forget, we got to eat, right? So this is a typical day for me, and I use apps like these to help me kind of flow successfully through the day as a travel advisor. So what do I use to run my business? First off, I do use Meta Business Suite because it connects my Instagram and my Facebook. Those are two of my most popular platforms other than YouTube. So I manage most of it through there. I look, for the messages. I look at the analytics a lot through Meta Business Suite so I can see where I need to improve. I look at their planner. Even though I actually use Deliverit to automate my post, this is what I use. Now, Deliverit is not an app, so you have to actually use that one on the computer. But what I like to do is I sit down and I schedule that, all from my laptop for the entire month. And then since everything's automated, I only have to do that 2 days out of the month. Then I can use Meta Business Suite to see how it's going. I use contact apps. I do use WhatsApp. It's not on here, but I do use contact apps like WhatsApp sometimes, and training sessions or for teams and stuff like that. I also use Jotform. Jotform is probably one of the best inquiry forms that you will ever work with. I absolutely love that. So I use Jotform for my inquiry form, and once they fill it out, guess what happens? I get a straight notification to my phone. That's so important. I used to use Google Forms back in the day, and they really were bad about notifying me, and it affected my business for a long time because I kept missing inquiries. So highly recommend Jotform. You can even edit your form on there. And then I also use Jotform for our credit card authorization form. You can turn it in as a signed document on there. And so when I'm doing a booking, I just send it straight from my phone to the client. The client fills out the form, signs it digitally, sends it back. So I like that. So then you guys know I do a lot of social media. If you're looking at my social media, you see it's everywhere, right? It's going. I got post on post on post. Why? So I make a lot of those through Canva and CapCut, and I do a lot of those in advance. I do a lot of them in advance. I didn't put it on here, but in the TikTok Studio. I make most of my videos in TikTok Studio. I will pull from CapCut, sometimes Pexels, but Pexels kind of doesn't do as great. But CapCut, Canva, um, any kind of tools that kind of help, with videos and photos, those are great. But Pexels and CapCut are apps on your phone. Canva is an app on your phone. And then I will put it all together in the TikTok studio when I'm making my travel tip Thursdays or where to go Wednesdays, videos like that. I get all made from my phone, saved to my phone, and then I upload them from there as well. So I feel like these tools are great for people who are running any kind of business. I personally do travel. And you would be surprised how these tools kind of already fit into your life. You're scrolling right now on Facebook and you're probably scrolling on YouTube, and that's how you probably saw this video, right? So you don't even realize it, but you're technically already qualified, maybe even to start your own business, but you're definitely qualified to be a travel advisor. So if you are already scrolling on social media, you already know how to navigate the apps. Okay. These apps are very easy to learn. And I, as your mentor, would train you on how to do this. You check messages, you already know how to, communicate with clients, and you know how to use probably Facebook Messenger, or if you're texting somebody, you already do that, right? And then if you can use the basics of apps, a lot of people these days use Canva like crazy. So if you're using the basic of these apps, those same skill transfers into business tools. So you'd be surprised, but a lot of people are already qualified, to be travel advisors. And if that is something that you're interested in, I will definitely be able to teach you about how to turn that passion into travel planning to profits. So if you have a love to travel, a love for travel, not just even booking travel. If you love to just travel in general, right? Starting with that passion, we can teach you the tech schools. Find a mentor, learn from someone who's done that. That's me. Okay. I have a lot of successful top bookers on my team, and I just implement the same strategies that you see here, and they do wonderful with it. Why? Because it's the same tools. We're all using the same tools with the same strategies. And once you see how it's done and you learn the gist of it, you just begin by taking those small steps with your phone, and you start growing gradually, building skills while earning, right? Because think about booking travel. When you're booking travel, everybody travels. That's one thing you'll always hear me say in most of my videos about being a travel advisor. Everybody travels. So all we have to do is get in front of them and tell them, hey, this is why you should book with us. So we have the tools and that proper system to teach you how to turn your passion into profits. So if you're interested in joining Passport to Profits, that is my team. We have a step-by-step guidance so you guys can have a clear roadmap for beginners. If you've never done this before, that's okay. As long as you are teachable, okay? We have a supportive community, so you're never going to feel alone. You're going to have people that are starting out just like you. You're going to have people that are experienced. And most of our training, guys, is straight from your phone. We have recorded trainings. So if you are busy, if you're a mom, or maybe you already have a full-time job, right? And you're learning on the go, you guys have the availability to learn anywhere at any time. And then what we're going to use to teach you, we're not trying to teach you anything new. We're teaching you what we've already done in the past and that we know what works. So we're going to put our top travel bookers in front of you with proven systems, and we're not reinventing the wheel at all. We are going to follow the wheel so that you guys can also take those passports and turn it into profits. So if you like what I've said and you're interested in learning more, go ahead and take a look at our website, passportstoprofits.com. Make sure you like and subscribe to this video, because I do all types of things on here, right? I do everything travel. So one day I might be teaching you how to do a quote on Carnival, and the next day you might learn about how to run your travel business from your phone. And the next day after that, you might learn, what you need to know before you book your next cruise. So make sure you like and subscribe so you can keep up with all the latest travel news and content. And if you're ready to turn your phone into a business, feel free to message me or comment below so I can help you get started. Thank you so much for watching. Ash Knows Travel YouTube channel. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the future. I do lives 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, and evening. So you definitely can feel free to hop on any of those, and I will see you there.